Boom! The boards rattled and the plexiglass shuddered. For a split second, 1,000 fans in the arena erupted all at once. The Blooming Prairie student section was packed, eager to see their team beat their arch rival. Dale City's leading scorer, senior left wing Robert Moberg, lay face down against the bench near the corner. He wasn't getting up. Players from both teams circled nearby as the athletic trainer hurried onto the ice. Third line center Jack Kullas watched from the bench. His stomach was tightening. Robert slowly rolled onto his back and grabbed his left shoulder. Even from 30 feet away, Jack could see the pain on his face. Head coach Chuck Perovich didn't need a medical diagnosis. He coached long enough. It was a separated shoulder. Robert was done for the night for sure. The scoreboard glowed on the wall. Blooming Prairie 1, Dale City nothing. 5 minutes gone, not exactly the start Dale City had hoped for. Coach Perovich pulled out his lineup card. His finger stopped. Jack looked up. We are moving you to first line left wing. Jack quietly nodded his head. Jack's heart immediately started pounding. He had not played wing since Pee-wee's. He would join senior center Matt Hagan and senior right wing Derek Olson. Coach Perovich leaned in closer. Don't worry about playing left wing, Jack nodded. Just worry about playing hockey. Before Jack could respond, the first line jumped over the boards. Matt skated past Jack and tapped him on his shin pad. Let's go. Just like that, Jack was on the first line. After the face-off, the puck found Matt deep inside the defensive zone. He turned and accelerated up the ice with the puck. Dale City was off on a 3-on-2 rush. Jack skated hard through center ice, staying wide along the left boards. Matt crossed the red line and slipped a perfect pass to Jack's stick. Jack was now the puck carrier. The defense backed up. One defender shifted toward Matt. The other drifted toward Jack. Options were everywhere. Jack crossed the blue line with his head up. Matt exploded through the middle lane toward the net. There it was, a give and go. Jack started to slide the puck across, but the passing lane wasn't open. Shoot low for a redirect? Matt may not be there in time. Jack looked over his shoulder. Derek had arrived as a trailer option. A Blooming Prairie forward had caught him from behind, covered. Everything was changing. Too fast. The hesitation lasted less than a second. Crunch. A defenseman stepped into Jack and wedged him against the boards. The puck squirted free. The crowd roared. Blooming Prairie raced in the other direction. The 3-on-2 opportunity was gone. Jack returned to the bench, breathing hard. He squeezed water from his bottle across his face before taking a drink. Coach Perovich stepped toward him. What were you waiting for? Jack shrugged his shoulders. Coach didn't wait. Matt was crashing the net and Derek was in the trailer position. You need to make up your mind. Jack felt that every player on the bench was listening. If you can't make those passes, I'll find somebody else who can. Silence. Perovich turned back to watch the game. The rest of the period passed in a blur. The horn finally sounded. Blooming Prairie still led 1-0. Dale City players quietly walked into the visitors' locker room. Jack was the last forward in the hallway. Assistant coach Brian Gorman was waiting for him at the door. Jack shook his head. I know, I let everybody down. Do you know why Coach got after you? Coach Gorman asked. Jack shrugged. Because I messed up? Gorman smiled. He got after you because he believes you can make those plays. Jack looked surprised. He's only yelling at you because he wants you to be a better player, Gorman added. Jack hadn't thought about it that way. The game feels faster on first line, doesn't it? Asked Gorman. Jack laughed. a lot faster. It always does. Gorman rested his hand on his shoulder. I've seen you make those passes in practice. Hang in there. You'll figure it out. Jack nodded quietly. Inside the locker room, the players sat quietly before Coach Perovich was to speak. He stood in the middle of the room. They landed the first punch tonight. Nobody moved. And we're still standing. Head slowly lifted. This building is loud. So what? They've beaten us the last 2 years. So what? They knocked Robert out of the game. Coach paused for a moment. So what? His voice softened. We came here for one reason. He looked every player in the eye. To find a way. We don't need perfect plays. He pointed toward each line. Win your next shift. Block a shot. Win a board battle. Get the puck in deep. Create a scoring opportunity, he smiled, and then do it again. Around the room, heads nodded. Jack quietly snapped on his helmet. Minutes later, the second period got off to a positive start. The first line won their line shift with a solid shot on goal. When the shift was over, Jack sat on the bench waiting for his next turn. His chest rose and fell beneath his shoulder pads while his breath slowly returned to normal. He squeezed a stream of cold water into his mouth. He took one slow breath. 5 seconds in, 5 seconds hold, 5 seconds out. His heartbeat gradually slowed down. Coach Gorman leaned over the boards. Get happy feet, boys. Jack smiled. Without thinking, he stood up and began bouncing lightly on the rubber mat beneath his skates, keeping his legs loose while waiting for the next line change. Win the next shift, Coach Gorman yelled firmly. Jack nodded. As the first line waited for its turn, Jack's thoughts drifted for a moment. It was Matt Boldy. He remembered watching his highlights. Boldy emphasizes creativity, deception, and patience as key secrets to his playmaking abilities. He always waits for that extra heartbeat before slipping the puck through traffic onto a teammate's stick. Jack smiled behind his cage. His thoughts disappeared. Line change, shouted Coach Gorman. Jack sprang over the boards. After catching a breakout pass, Matt accelerated through center ice. Jack motored along with him on the left side while Derek was skating into the zone from the far right lane. 3 attackers, 2 defenders. Jack's eyes stayed up while carrying the puck. One defenseman stayed between Matt and Derek. The other defender shifted toward Jack, creating a gap in the middle lane. Jack quickly slipped the puck across to Matt, who was charging the net. When he reached the front of the net, he snapped a quick wrist shot. Thump. The puck struck the goalie's left pad. It bounced right to where Derek was coming in with his stick ready. He arrived exactly as the rebound appeared. Whack! The puck exploded into the net. Goal! Dale City bench players leaped to their feet, pounding their sticks against the boards. Great rebound, Coach Gorman shouted. The entire first line skated by the bench to slap hockey high fives to their teammates, a hockey tradition. Blooming Prairie won, Dale City won. Minutes later, Blooming Prairie answered with a tipped shot from the blue line. Blooming Prairie 2, Dale City 1. They did not let this setback distract them. Going forward, every shift steadily got better. Centers won key faceoffs. Defensemen cleanly executed their breakout passes. Forwards finished checks and won battles along the boards. Late in the period, Jack sat on the bench, breathing heavily after another successful shift. Another memory quietly surfaced. The garage, last July, stick work. A 6-foot synthetic shooting pad stretched across one side of the garage floor. Jack rapidly stick-handled along the pad, imagining 3-on-2 rushes. Pass it to the center. Shoot low for the redirect. Pass it back to the trailer. Again and again. Sometimes his dad stood behind him, calling out different options. Crasher. Trailer. Shoot. He laughed when Jack launched wrist shots low and just inside the pipe. Wow, nice shot. By the end of the summer, Jack could stick handle without looking at the puck. He was learning to feel the puck and imagine seeing open teammates. With a couple of minutes left, Blooming Prairie continued pressing. Dale City answered every challenge. When the second period horn sounded, the players marched into the locker room. Matt stood in front of the team. Like Coach said, he spoke, we don't have to be perfect. He pointed toward each line. We just have to keep winning shifts. Coach Perovich looked across the room. For the first time all night, he smiled. The seniors had taken ownership of the team. The room felt lighter. Jack's breathing felt easier. His thoughts were simpler. Just win the next shift. Feel the puck. See the play. As the team prepared for the third period, Jack no longer felt like a sophomore trying not to make mistakes. He was starting to feel like a seasoned player preparing for the next period. He couldn't wait to get back on the ice. The third period began with a different feeling on the Dale City bench. Every key faceoff was won. Every shot was blocked. Every battle along the boards was won. The players could feel the momentum shifting. Jack regained his breath on the bench after another hard shift. He leaned over and squeezed a quick stream of cold water into his mouth. Coach Gorman barked, "First line, get ready." Jack got up and bounced lightly on his skates. Happy feet. With fresh legs, Jack hopped over the boards to start his next shift. His heart still beat a little faster than normal, but the butterflies were gone. A Dale City defenseman intercepted a pass and quickly moved the puck ahead to Matt. 2 quick strides later, he passed the puck up ice to Jack on the left side. 3 attackers, 2 defenders. Jack crossed the blue line with his head up. Matt was back in the trailer position in the middle lane, while Derek was motoring down the ice from the right lane, heading for the net. The 2 Blooming Prairie defensemen were in position while skating backwards. Feel the puck, see the play, he thought. While carrying the puck, Jack saw that Matt was covered. The goalie came out to meet him to take away a shooting angle. Without another thought, he snapped a low wrist shot to the inside right post. Tip! Like a thief in the night, Derek made it to the net at the right moment, redirecting the puck into the open net. Goal! The Dale City bench exploded as Derek raised his stick into the air. The entire first line skated by the bench, exchanging high fives. When Jack returned to the bench, he felt someone patting him on the back. It was Coach Gorman. "You shot that puck there on purpose, didn't you?" Jack nodded with a smile. Blooming Prairie 2, Dale City 2. While catching his breath, Jack had realized something. He wasn't trying to make perfect plays anymore. He was simply letting the plays reveal the open man. With just a few minutes left in the game, Dale City's defenseman collected the puck behind his own net, spotting Derek positioned along the boards in the defensive zone. He zipped a pass to Derek, who then one-touched the puck to Matt, skating up the middle of the ice. Jack joined him on the left side. Derek was behind the play on the right. 3 attackers, 2 defenders. Matt passed the puck to Jack, and he charged down the middle lane. Jack caught the pass and crossed the blue line with his head up. The inside defenseman chose to cover Matt, crashing down the middle. The outside defenseman started shifting over to Jack. His breathing stayed calm. Instead of rushing the play, Jack carried the puck on his left side, protecting the puck with his body. Matt bumped into the inside defenseman, creating chaos in front of the net. At the same time, Derek cut across the ice into the trailer position. The outside defenseman turned and skated toward Jack. In an instant, Jack slid a soft pass to Derek. Thwack! Derek's one-timer rocketed toward the far post. Dink! The puck struck the inside of the pipe before snapping into the back of the net. For an instant, the arena fell silent. Then the Dale City bench erupted. Coach Perovich thrust both fists into the air. Derek got the hat trick. Dale City players pounded their sticks against the board. Again, the entire first line skated by the bench, exchanging high fives with the rest of the team. Blue Prairie called timeout. They pulled its goalie during the final 2 minutes of the game. The home team threw everything they had at the net. Dale City blocked shots, cleared rebounds, kept pucks along the boards. The final horn echoed through the arena. Dale City 3, Blooming Prairie 2. Dale City players spilled out onto the ice to celebrate their biggest road victory of the season, by far. Moments like this reveal how we respond to pressure. When Jack stopped trying to force the perfect play, the game slowed down just enough for him to recognize what his preparation had been teaching him all along. Converting 3-on-2 rushes is a science and an art. In the beginning of a play, most puck carriers rarely know who the open player will be. Just work the play and the open teammate will be revealed. That lesson goes far beyond hockey. Sometimes we become so determined to force an outcome that we miss the opportunity quietly developing in front of us. Moments like this can happen more often than we think. On the ice, in the workplace, and in life. Pressure often convinces us that we must do something extraordinary. More often, success comes from trusting our preparation, following the playmaking process, and allowing the next right play to reveal itself. Sometimes the biggest play doesn't necessarily belong to the player who scores the goal. Sometimes it belongs to the player who can quietly find the open teammate.